What's up, everybody? It is Monday, and I am back in the clinic for the first time in a couple weeks. And I wanted to come on and talk about something that I've really wanted to challenge myself on over the last few weeks, and then also one of my primary things that I'm going to be thinking about moving into the new year. I actually did not set as many quote unquote New Year's resolutions as what I sometimes do, but this is something that I have as my focus for the year. Uh, and that is to stop using words that end in ed. And I know that that sounds crazy, but I want to expand on that a little bit. So as I've as I've been learning more things over the past several years of being a clinic owner and being a business coach, one of the things that I realize that a lot of us have this impression of is that we have to get to the point that we can look back on something and say, I have discovered, or I have learned, or I have overcome. And it's all of these finite words of looking back and having a completion of that. And so we use a lot of words like use a lot of words that have ed endings. And instead of that, I want to use a lot of words that have ing endings. So I'm learning, I am growing, I am developing, I am changing, I am maturing, I am improving. All of these things that are ing words, they're active, they're progressive. And even as I'm some part of the reason that I'm kind of stumbling over words in this video is because it's challenging for me to say something like, well, I've learned. Well, no, I am learning this as I move forward. And not only in my personal life, but I think that it's also very important for us to look for people who have that same sort of mentality. Like, I want to surround myself with people who are developing, growing, overcoming, maturing, all of these ing words, as opposed to looking at people as the guru who has already accomplished what I'm looking to accomplish. None of us should look at our lives and say we are 100% have arrived at where we're going. And I think that this is something that a lot of people struggle with. Is a lot of us have this impression of, I will only accomplish what I want to accomplish when I arrive at a particular destination, or I work towards something, I develop my skills, I've learned all that I need to learn clinically, and then I'm going to go and learn all that I can in business. And I just don't think that that's healthy for us. I think that we need to get away from ed ending words, and we need to work towards ing ending words, because as long as we're alive, we're going to be progressing, we're going to be developing, we're going to be maturing, we're going to be learning. You've probably learned a lot and are learning still. I think it can be. I do think that it can be, but I think that it's, for me, the thing that I look at from the perspective of I've learned a lot. I think that that puts a cap on my mentality, and I start to look and say, well, I'm done with that. Then, as soon as I say ed, then it puts it in the past, as opposed to, yes, I've been learning and I'm going to continue to learn. So I do think that we all have learned things, but I think honestly, for a lot of us, we need to unlearn some of the things that we've learned in the past, and we need to go back towards continuing to challenge ourselves and grow through the challenging of our thoughts, the challenging of our perspectives. There are so many things that I look in. I mean, I'm not the oldest clinician by any stretch of the imagination, but there are a lot of things that I used to know, and now I'm not sure about. And so I think when we have that perspective of past tense, I've learned it, I've grown enough in that it keeps us from wanting to progress and change and adapt moving forward. So happy that you brought that up. I do think that there are things that we have learned, but most of the lessons in my life, most of my life, is constant building upon each other, building upon lessons. And I want to look back on my life, and I want to say I never got to the point that I put a full stop on that. and said, I'm done with that particular thing, or I've learned that enough. Now I can move on to 2.0. Is I look at my life as a whole, and I say I want to continue to grow and develop and learn and continue moving forward towards maturing. So that's my perspective on it. I would love to hear what your thoughts are on that, Cindy. But yeah, I think a lot of us again have this idea that we want to arrive at something. We want to be learned. We want to be matured. We want to be healed. We want to be all of these things, and I just don't really believe that's when we should start acting. I think we should start to look at it and say, I'm just going to be on a journey towards all of these ing things. And if we can do that, I think we're gonna look at the potential in our lives in a lot different way, and then we're going to be able to be willing to start moving forward with our lives before we necessarily feel ready, because we know that we're going to learn along the way. And that's, I think, the biggest lesson from this is you don't have to have accomplished all of these things first. You just need to be confident that you're going to be able to develop and mature along the way and learn along the way, because it's so much more active that way. It's a present tense and progressive tense as opposed to a past tense thing. So thank you guys for watching. If you guys have any questions with this, is just the thing that was going through my mind today as I look towards the new year. I don't want to feel like I have anything figured out. I want to constantly be challenging myself and say, I want to continue to learn and develop and grow, and be challenging all of the things that I think that I know, because most of the time that gives me a richer and deeper and more beautiful final product than just saying I'm done learning that at this point.